What's up guys, back on the GoPro for this one. Welcome to what is likely to be the final installment of this shed saga, the Shed Chronicles, because this is probably going to be the end of the big changes that I suppose have been coming or that we wanted to make over the past couple of weeks. So at the end of the last episode, we got this place mostly cleaned out. You can hardly recognize the place. It looks great. We got the sink moved, everything like that is done. I went to Bunnings while I was on the coast the other day, got ourselves another rail for the shelf. So now we have the shelf complete. We have a shelf up here. Doesn't even have anything on it. That's how bloody organized we are. Got empty shelves. Who would have thought? Anyway, so that's how that was going to be. Exactly how I envisioned that. You saw us mark out on the concrete for the second hoist, which I'm excited to announce has finally rocked up. It is out the front. I'm walking you over to it right now. We're on the way. Boom, check it out. Pew. So hoist number 2 is pretty close to being in the building. It's just outside the building, ready to go in. So this is going to be tomorrow's job. But it's finally arrived. So we ordered this well over a week ago. We've been screwed around by freight companies trying to get it here, which is a fairly consistent issue we seem to have where we are. So anyway, it's part of the course of starting a business out in the sticks. But regardless, it has rocked up, it is here, and we're excited. We're bloody excited. So with this second hoist, we should be able to start working through this sea of cars a little bit faster, hopefully, and hopefully get some people, well, once it sheds it up a bit better, get someone here a few days a week to help us out and hopefully take a bit of the load off us a little bit and try and get a bit more done around the place, because, man, we are busy. So tomorrow we'll begin the process of dismantling hoist A, relocating hoist A, remounting hoist A, rebuilding hoist A, and then installing hoist B, and la-dee-da, Mr. Frenchman will have 2 hoists. And you can see the washer and dryer are actually gone now, so we can move this pallet rack in this way and all the way to the end, which gives us that extra room we needed for the second hoist. So we'll do some proper measuring up. We might end up moving the whole lot down this way a bit with the extra room from this being moved, which might give us just a little bit more room to get into that one at that end, but we'll work that out tomorrow and discuss it tomorrow. So glad it's finally here. Being mucked around by them freight companies has actually set us behind quite a bit, because this is meant to be here last week. So there are a few jobs that we've been putting off because we didn't want to have them immobilized before it got here, to have to push everything around and move everything around again. We've already got to push around too many cars to get it in here. So we're keeping on putting off a lot of those projects because, oh, it's going to be here tomorrow, it's going to be here tomorrow, it's going to be here. We've ended up a week behind in a lot of stuff. So keen to get this put up and start getting it and smashing out a bit more work with the both of the hoists in here. All right, guys, today's the day. Get this thing set up, get some things happening, get some results for all our work. It's going to be great. So going to be doing some rigging again today. For those of you who don't know, before we started doing this, me and Rex are both riggers from way back. So this is right up our alley. On another note, how fresh did these shirts turn out? Woo! Yeah, check the merch, check the merch. Go and buy some. Freaking sick. First things first, gotta move this. We already talked about it yesterday. Yep. Ready? Yep.
We could go a little bit further if you want.
Also, I forgot to mention that yesterday we went and got new tap washers for this tap, so that it doesn't continuously leak like it used to, so that this quagmire can go away. We don't have a quagmire over here. Ah, see? Now we both know words. So this one, this is drying up. It was actually, even one day after we moved that sink, it actually dried up pretty well, but Rex had to do a heap of washing for an engine we're building, so it got all wet again. But it has started drying up already. So next thing is to find somewhere else to put our wash bay, which we'll figure something out, you know, soon. But yeah, it's gonna have to move from there. The drainage situation isn't good enough. We need to do a lot of work on drainage around this property.
Well, that's how much space we gained here. Woo! And there's our illustrated arm, so not arm, I should say post. So yeah, that should work out pretty well. Even the gurney can have a home now.
Woo-wee. Look at this place, eh?
So much room for activities.
So anyway, now with everything out of the way, we'll can actually get around and properly measure out where these things are going to go and actually properly mark them, which will be step 1.
Righto, so we've measured and marked a little bit more accurately this time. Assuming that the new hoist is the same width, this is where the new one's gonna go. See our foot here, also assuming that the feet are the same size as that one, but it's not a huge deal for now, just as long as it's sort of marked out. But you can see it's enough difference to there, distance to there I should say, that you can sort of just squeeze through. It looks real close, but you got to remember that that's only the hoist, like the actual post. The car's going to be like a good, from the center of that, a car's still going to be a good 800 in, so you know, your car's still going to be about where my foot is, so that's heaps of room to there, so that's all sweet. This is the back foot, or the other side foot I should say, which you can see there, going back that way, and this is this foot here. Sorry guys, it's probably hard to see on the video, but we tried to line up the outsides, so outside of this post, outside of that post. And then there'll be a motor here and a motor there. All well and good. And this is our, not this one, this one. Other foot there, which goes back to there. And that should be how it all works out. And once again, we lined up the outside of that post with the edge of the door back to that pallet. So again, you know, that's the outside of the post. So an actual car is going to be a good 800 inside, which should give us plenty of room to swing it in this door. Like I said, guys, they're super wide doors. So if you hug this edge with a car and just pretty much start hooking it hard, you're not going to swing the front into the other side of the door. There's plenty of room there, so it shouldn't be hard to get a car in here at all, really. So yeah, now it's time to do our bloody swims and our lift plan and our pre-start meeting and get our hard hats out and get this thing lifted. So to move this thing, we really didn't want to have to completely dismantle it because it's so much screwing around. And we actually wanted to turn the arms around because, you know, we're going to be backing cars onto the hoist now. So we had to switch the arms over anyway. So we took them out to remove a little bit of weight. And the plan is to actually just lift the whole thing as one, the way it is pretty much as you see it. So the spreader bar up there, or the bar up there, it's not really strong enough to lift it from. But if we choke it and sling it outside, we should be fine. So Rigger X over here did a lift plan and actually worked out the compressive forces on 45-degree angles of the sling on top of that bar, assuming that it's the same weight as that one, which the shipping weight was 700 kilos. So assuming 700 kilos, the compressive forces on that bar up the top are pretty much exactly 750 kilo of compressive force. So that's what Rex has worked out there, which we figure, given that the hoist is rated for 4.5 ton, should be more than like 750 kilo of compressive force should be, that bar should take that all day long. Because you think about if you've got a 4.5 ton car on this hoist, lifted up, the compressive force of a car being hung on these posts should be very similar to that. So the plan is to choke it, run the slings up the outside so that they are pretty much compressing along that bar and just plonk the whole thing up and move it. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Obviously with having a car on there, your dynabolts and stuff help, but that thing's still taking quite a lot of force if there's a 4.5 ton car on there. So we think it's going to be definitely strong enough for us to sling this up this way and move it this way with the hook on the posi track. So shout out to our boys there at Hero Auto Hoist, who we purchased this hoist from. They're actually a Queensland based company. They're based down in Gold Coast and Yatala, around that area somewhere. So yeah, shout out to them guys. Bought this hoist off them, got them to chuck in a heap of dynabolts as well so that we can relocate this one. We've got extra dynabolts to relocate it. Should be happy days with this thing. So guys, we've got ourselves a bloody zing jing. So you know, best in the bloody business. Best in the business. Hopefully do a lot better than our Shanghai Hawaiian. Got to get the zing ding in there, not the Shannon Hawaiian. So one thing you probably have noticed if you've been watching this channel for a little while is that this hoist is painfully slow to lift. I'm pretty sure it's advertised at about a 60-second lift. I reckon it's more than that to lift it all the way high. Not only that, but me and Rex are both very tall, and you'll notice that even with cars fully lifted, we're both under here doing these ones, and it's a real pain. So we could have got another lift pretty much exactly the same as this one, almost the same, for significantly a low price. Would have been fairly cheap. You know, they're not a super expensive hoist, they're just like a Chinese thing. We could have done that, but we decided to spend a little bit extra money on this hoist. You know, we spend a lot of time under them, so we thought we'd get a bit of a better one. So this one's advertised at a 45-second lift, which is significantly faster than our current one. So hopefully that's right. Not only that, but it's actually quite a bit taller.
just even the arms themselves, the posts, are a full 400 taller than our current posts. So the actual hoist itself is a 400 taller. This one has a lifting height of 1.8, which is not even nearly as tall as me and Rex are. Whereas the new one has a lifting height of just over 2 meters, which means that it should be about head height for us with our boots on, which is, you know, good. It's going to be much more comfortable for us. Not only that, but I got this one. You'll notice that our arms for this one are just your three post adjustable with your rubber pad. The new hoist actually got screw up and down rubber pads, which should be much better for adjustability. And it should, I think, have a lower bottom height. I'm not sure though, might not, but either way, we've got one of each to choose from now. So that's what we've done. So we spent a little bit of extra money to get a hoist that was going to suit us a bit better. It's really exciting stuff, you know. All right, so one's moved, re-pinned, re-anchored, good to go. So now we've just got to build the second one in here and stand her up and pin it down as well. Exciting stuff, looking good. Talk it down. Get it down. Just as I thought. It's a lift king.
Now that is a quality hoist.
Look at that. It's nice to see a vision come to life. Exactly how I envisioned it in my head. Looks grouse. Bloody great. Now, unfortunately, it didn't come with any hydraulic oil. So, come on, Hero Hoist. What's the go there? So, we're going to have to wait and get some on probably on Monday. We'll see if we can get some tomorrow locally, but if not, we'll have to go for a bit of a drive on Monday and get some get some oil before we can actually use it, which is a shame. But anyway, there's a few things we've got to finish setting up anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So as you can see, it's going to be still fairly squishy, you know, having a car on each hoist, like we were talking about, even in front here. By the time you've got a car on this hoist, you're going to be working in the engine bay, sort of around here, which means this pump's going to be in a real pain of a spot. So you can see on that hoist, the pump's sort of located off the side instead of, well, off the front instead of off the side. So we're going to probably do the same with this pump. We're going to actually make a bracket to mount the pump around the front, which gives us just that little bit of extra room if you're working on a car. So it is definitely still going to be squishy. It's going to be the same pretty much over here with this sort of post and stuff. It is what it is. It's going to be a squishy area, but it's definitely 100% the best use of this space to get done what we need to get done. So that's going to be how it's going to be. And like we talked about, once the once the dyno's sort of out of this area, and we get this whole drive-through bay back as well, plus 2 hoists here, that's plenty of workshop space for us to do any of our mechanical work that needs to be done. And you know, then the dyno can go all day while people are in here doing stuff, and it won't sort of clash, and that'll be awesome. So that's the next step, but we'll get there. Anyway guys, it's getting pretty late, so probably head home after we shuffle some cars around, but definitely a few little final things to do to that hoist to get it finished off and ready, so pick this up in the morning.
Hey there, buddy.
All right, back here this morning, feeling yesterday was a big day, we're feeling it this morning, so. But at least we got our second hoist in, so now we can do twice as much work every day with all our time. Anyway, we went and found some hydraulic oil this morning so that we can actually finish this thing off and get it operational. So we've got a few final touches to apply, for applying. A few covers to put on, etc. We've got to adjust our cables and stuff, and we can sort of get this thing happening, which would be good. And to do that, I've got to finally catch up on the stuff that I started like 3 weeks ago. So obviously, if we want to use this hoist at all, we really need to get at least one of these tables gone immediately. The other one we can deal with just moving around, chasing our tails around with it for a little while, just to have the extra bench. Not to mention we don't have the posts set up for the grinder and the vise, which we use all the time, so we sort of need them in here. So the one that doesn't have the grinder and the vise on it's got 4 steerable casters, which makes it a lot easier to move. So we'll probably remove the grinder and vise from this bench, put them on that bench, get this bench gone, which means we need somewhere to put this steel. So where I wanted to put this steel, as you all remember from previous episodes, was in this container along this wall where all that shelving is, where I wanted to put the steel. Problem with that is I have to clean out that side of the container, which problem with that is I need to put all that stuff in my trailer to move it, which the problem with that is I've still got all this stuff on my trailer, which I started the other day and just haven't finished. So I've got to finish dealing with this, and then getting rid of it is pretty much what I'm up to, so that we can do that container, so that we can get the steel off that bench, so that we can get that bench out of the shed. And we can finish off the hoist and get it working. And it's just, what are weekends? I don't remember the last, I want my weekends back. All right guys, we got there. It's gone, it's all gone. It's all down on the scrap pile. And I think I'm just as likely to go looking for it down there as I would be anywhere else, because I'll probably never use any of it. So anyway, Dad's feeling not very well today, so he's gonna have a bit of a rest day. So not gonna worry about clearing this out at the moment. I've only got to move the stuff that's on the bottom of that table, so it's not that much deal. So for now, I'm just gonna chuck it. Dad cleared off all his holding stuff off this pallet racking, so just gonna chuck it up here for now, just as a means to get it out of the place and out of the way. It'll be fine up here, out of the way, and it's not a huge amount of steel to double handle once that stuff's empty, so not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But you have to see that on the next episode. Haha, I know I said that this would be the last episode of this little saga, but just given how much more we still have to do, I figure I might actually split it up rather than make this one huge, big, long episode. Because like, we're still gonna make the post for the grinder, the post for the, you know, the vise, and get that corner of the shed all set up and everything else. And there's a few other things we're gonna have to sort out. So I may as well make another episode for those of you who have been stoked to follow along with this little series. So anyway, I'm gonna do that. So that'll be the end of this one. Thanks for watching, as always. Hope you're excited. We're freaking stoked. This place is starting to really come along now. Exactly how I had envisioned in my head, which is awesome to see. And I'm excited to try and operate at a bit of a higher turnover rate and see what we can do with this extra room and hopefully eventually some extra hands. So we'll get there. Thanks for watching, as always. Don't forget to go buy some merch. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out. See you. Bye.